What's up, guys? How y'all doing? I've returned for another video. I hope you guys are all enjoying your days. And as I said, I've returned for another video, but this time I'm not going to be discussing Supercross. I know World Supercross in Abu Dhabi was this weekend. Unfortunately, I didn't see it. And I'm also not going to be discussing Hawaii Bend's basketball this time around. I'm actually doing a bit of a tribute video to somebody that was lost 3 years ago, and I think you're going to know who this guy is. So, right here, it's the 3-year anniversary of the passing of Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. And God knows, anybody who knows, and God knows that Alex Trebek has been a huge part of my life when I was growing up. I always tuned in. I'm from the generation where you didn't watch Bob Barker on The Price is Right. And the only two shows that you watched were Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, with Alex Trebek hosting Jeopardy and Pat Sajak hosting Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White. And while Pat Sajak has announced that this current season of Wheel of Fortune will be his last, unfortunately, Alex Trebek left us on November 8th, 2020. And I can tell you right now, as a frequent viewer of Jeopardy, that was probably one of the roughest days of my life that I ever had to go through. And I'm not just saying that. Now, I will say, though, I will say what happened during that day. I vividly remember everything that did happen, and or the events that took place after that, when I got the notice on Sunday. Because, yeah, that was a Sunday when that happened. And as soon as I got the notice that Alex Trebek had died from his stage 4 pancreatic cancer, my heart immediately sunk. Like it was completely shattered. And there was pretty much no way to repair it. And I will say, like I said, that was one of the roughest days of my life. And while Ken Jennings has taken the torch for hosting Jeopardy, I still think he was the right choice from the very beginning. I have nothing against Mayim Bialik, but the only reason why I really had a problem with her at first is because I had no clue who she was. Until somebody told me that she was on The Big Bang Theory. And as someone who does not watch any TV other than my local news and, of course, Baywatch on my Samsung TV, that was kind of new to me, finding out who Mayim Bialik really was. But for the whole time, I have not said that I did not like Mayim Bialik at all. I think she does a good job as well. But I never really understood why there was all this fawning over her, for lack of a better word. And while I'm on the Ken Jennings bandwagon, mainly because he's a lot more well known to Jeopardy, and who couldn't remember his 74 game win streak and winning over $2 million, and James Holzhauer coming close to that record in well under half the time. And but anyway, as far as that goes, I definitely remember, because I was so broken up inside. I just could not function at all that day. And even after ABC had aired a special to honor Alex Trebek, even Game Show Network had aired a Jeopardy marathon in Alex Trebek's honor. But I still think that they should have aired some of the 90s episodes with the grid set, as people are calling it, where it was blue for the Jeopardy round and red for Double Jeopardy and Final Jeopardy. And unfortunately, I was kind of young to see that, but I was really enticed by that kind of stuff. And of course, my late grandpa always had Jeopardy on when I was a kid. and I would just keep on tuning in, tuning in, tuning in. And it just got to a point where Jeopardy became a huge part of my life. And especially after getting back to rewatching it in 2000 when I was 12 years old, and I would even record the show as well on VHS at the time. And you know, those were the days. I mean, you think that, you know, I'm definitely from the generation where everything was epic and everything was simple. And while I wish that kind of stuff was around today and all this complexity going around, if there was one thing that didn't change, it was Alex Trebek hosting Jeopardy. And I couldn't imagine another guy hosting the show at all. And that, of course, with the death of Alex Trebek, Ken Jennings took the torch and he served it well. So kudos to Ken Jennings for keeping the Jeopardy legacy alive. I'm still a viewer, and anybody who knows me well knows that Jeopardy is a big part of my life, and a lot of other lives, I'm sure. But as far as my day is concerned, as my life is concerned, especially after trying to move on. I mean, I know it was hard. I was still in college at the time, but just about to finish up. And of course, COVID-19 was still going around and restrictions were being lifted. Not a lot of people were out there. Not a lot of people were walking around. And, you know, they say that COVID really, can really take a toll on you mentally. And unfortunately, November 8th was kind of my turn. And a couple days later, I was actually at my college for my broadcast journalism class, and I was having a hard time trying to function. And of course, adding in another misunderstanding that I would rather not talk about here. I had such a hard time trying to even focus because I was still grieving, you know. You know, those are things you don't forget. And unfortunately, my professor at the time, Bernadette Baraquio, was really sympathetic to me. And that was what I was most worried about. But I finally had the courage to tell her what happened to me. And again, I'm not going to share that here because that's a personal matter, and I do not want to fill that in. So she completely sympathized with my troubles, and even offered me to leave early if I wanted to. But I chose not to because I'd already made the trip from my house to the UH Manoa campus. So I started to feel a little better that I finally told someone. And I had also told a friend earlier because, and he also heard about the death of Alex Trebek, and he told me he immediately thought about me. And I know that Alex Trebek really touched a lot of people's lives around the world, myself included. But, you know, he was an icon. No one can ever replace him. So just to know that I am still, I've completely moved on. But not a day goes by that I miss that man for sure. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. So anyway, I'll be back for another video soon. And just remember, subscribe. Just make sure you ring the bell. You want new uploads. I'm going to give them as consistently as I can. I am planning to start another season of Press Your Luck on my channel. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you all soon. So Godspeed to Alex Trebek. Malama Pono, folks. I'll see you for another video.